Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, in case you ain't know so, and welcome back to another episode of Sports with SoSo. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the podcast on all streaming platforms and subscribe to our new YouTube channel where we're going to be releasing all of our episodes. This week, coming to you live from CIC Miami, y'all. Another dope episode as we have our guest Alex join us in studio. We're going to be talking about the Marlins briefly. We got some UFC. Obviously, we're going to talk golf, and we might just even break down the NBA finals to see what happens. You never know what's going to happen on this show, y'all. It's time to take a ride. Let's go. Made it.
Yeah. This is a special episode right here, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, hit the horns for the first official in-studio guest. We have the homie here, Alex Sibilly.
Sibilly.
We went over this. I know we did. Sibilly.
There you go.
I got to say it fast and strong.
Yes,
Sibilly, like a strong-ass last name.
Like slowing the SI.
Yeah, way too much. Way too much.
Alex Sibilly, a.k.a.
Also known Coach Alex.
Coach Sib.
Coach
on
Sib.
Instagram.
The director of instruction at the Top Golf Doral. Also the Tour Pro there, right?
Yep. So I'm a director of instruction at Top Golf. I do most of the lessons, events, and anything golf related there at Top Golf.
And you got a badass summer program going on right now with the kids.
Man,
Is that camp still going?
Actually, we just ended it last week because of COVID. Everything spiking
back up and stuff. They closed it.
Yeah, they don't feel safe there.
It looked a lot of fun, man. I saw you having
Yeah,
the kids like
super
on the actual
the
course, like playing baseball, but with golf balls and wiffle balls.
From
and
9
stuff.
to 10, the venue's closed. So at 9 o'clock, you got these kids who are just homeschooled,
right,
6-7 months this past year. And they're just coming with so much energy, and they're just excited to be on the field. No one can do that as a guest at Top Golf.
For sure.
To be able to look inside the little targets and see where the balls go,
That's sick.
It gets them going.
I'm sure, man. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
If I was young enough, or maybe if I could, since I could shave my beard or something, I'll slide in there.
And
be like, yo.
Yeah, we got some cool
cheap ass lessons.
You just pull up with like that piece of paper from bench warmers. I am 12.
I'm 12. That's me, man.
That's me. I'm 12.
Trust me.
But yeah, it's awesome. Got a lot of games there. Got a little golf baseball where they get to play on the field, and that's what gets them going.
That's cool, man. That's a great thing that you do, bro. And I really wish you a lot of success in that, man, because that's dope, man. Anytime you get to have the youth like that, interested in a different type of sport, and again, just being outside and being like active, can't beat that type of stuff, man. Can't beat that type of stuff.
Alex, obviously being from the world of golf, being an instructor, being a scratch golfer, and et cetera, he's the reason why we brought him on is for coverage on the U.S. I mean, sorry, not the U.S., just the Open Championship.
The Open.
Formerly referred to by many people, some people
Open,
in this room, as the British Open.
I mean, that's how I'm gonna call it from now on. So
we'll get into that in a second. But before we do, I'm gonna put you on the clock. Let's just give a quick recap on the Marlins.
Give me my quick little Marlins little fandom here. And you know why I asked you to play this, dog? Because they need the support.
They do.
They need the support, dog. Like, this team is struggling right now. We just had 2 major injuries. Jazz went down. We had Marte pull up with an injury. Who's the other guy you told me? Cooper?
Yep, Gary Cooper.
Gary Cooper went down with an injury.
On 10-day.
I
don't know the extent of Marte's, but he was out earlier in the season too, so that doesn't
bode well, and that's what we were talking about in the last episode. When you're getting to that age where injuries, like normal injuries, are starting to trip you up and having you out of the lineup for a lot longer than what you anticipate, man, you got to kind of get any type of guaranteed deal that you can get, whether it's short-term or long-term, regardless of the money, because you kind of feel like that exit is coming, you know? But, man, the fucking Marlins, bro. Struggling. Lost 3 of the last 4. Me personally was expecting them to bounce back from that, from having the break in the All-Star game and stuff like that, and really, catching heat and just going for it. But, man, these guys can't.
Spotty still. We
the
can't
offense
finish games.
is there.
Yeah, I mean, you got Aguilar.
Aguilar still leading the team in RBIs, average, and stuff like that. Duval, man, 20 home runs on the season, bro. Got to trade this guy.
But we can't put it together as a team.
No.
It's terrible.
They had to go in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what everyone saw. I was like, wait, Marlins are doing something right now.
Yes.
But then after the All-Star break, it's like
not even spring training. I'll give you that.
You
Spring
think so?
training, it was like, damn, there was
a
little gleam.
real hype.
There's a gleam in the
There was
eye
a
of
lot,
the
yeah.
beast, you
Yeah,
know. I think that
yeah,
there's
yeah.
something there. And then we started off, man, and we let a couple games slip away from us that we should have won, and it's kind of been on that downward spiral where we win against a team like the Dodgers, we take 3 out of 4 games, and then we can't beat the freaking the Braves to save our life,
or the Phillies.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, people in our division that we're gonna see multiple times, and we can't take them. So that's hurting us, man. We're dead last in the division right now, and it shows.
Kills us. And again, we know that we're running out of time, right? Because the season's going to be over. We're falling further and further back away from any type of serious contention.
What's the next move for them?
Next move has to be getting younger, getting better. You know, and I'm glad you brought that up because they just had a really exciting pick in the MLB draft.
Yeah.
They had Khalil Watson, the shortstop, one of the highly rated shortstops. Only 4 of them were truly highly rated, and this guy slipped all the way to 16. Marlins picked him up. Maybe he becomes a stud at shortstop. Lefty hitter, very useful, very fast.
Okay. I didn't know he was lefty.
Yeah, lefty hitter. And they like from what I was reading in the reports, he could be using the outfield, which is great because it could be that outfield needs some new blood. We talked about it, you know, like they have guys who haven't panned out. Lewis Brinson, Marte's getting older. You know, Duvall is getting older. You need new blood. You know, you need some new blood in that
what
outfield.
Jeter wants to do there in that organization, that's what it's going to happen.
But that's where we're heading, bro. We're heading towards youth. I want to see everybody called up in these next 3 weeks, man. And these next 3 weeks, if we ever drafted somebody in the first 4 or 5 rounds in the last 3 years and they're still in our system, they got to play. They got to play. I don't want to see old guys anymore. I want to see talent that we have. If they're any good, if they show anything, maybe we find a diamond in the rough or something like that. But that's what I want to see. I don't know about you guys, man.
Well, what else we got on the Marlins before we wrap that up?
Nothing, bro. Starting
games coming up?
Yeah, they started a series against Washington tonight that I'm going to keep an eye on. You know, hopefully these guys are going to be able to pull out at least a win at some point. We're down 8-0, so definitely this is not going to be it. Bottom of the second. This is not going to be it. So don't hold your breath. So that's my point. If we're going to be losing games like this,
as well start them and see who. Yeah.
We won
start
7-0
the kids,
the
bro.
other day.
Yeah,
Start the kids.
I agree.
We won a game the other day, I think like 9-0 or 7-0 or something.
Yeah,
like
that was the second game of the doubleheader against Philly.
Now we're down 8-0.
But that's how it goes, man. The inconsistency,
it's
bro.
very inconsistent.
Very inconsistent. And that's why I prefer, if we're going to be like this, I prefer to see the youth. You know what? This season is a wash. We did as best as we could. We stayed in it for as long as we could. Now it's time to move on and let's see what the prospects bring and let it ride. Just let it ride.
Consistency, bro. That's the key right there. And you got to be consistent in baseball, but you got to be even more consistent in golf. And that's what I really want to get into right now. I don't know about you.
I can't talk about consistency in golf, dog. It just doesn't work for me.
If you don't practice,
you know what?
Let's just start there.
That's number one, right? But even if I did practice, I practice bad habits, right? So I'm not really going anywhere too much with practice. That's why Alex is going to hook me up on the side, y'all. So don't worry about this. My game is going to go from handicap of 40 to like about 38. 38.
Yeah, we'll start at 35.
If we can get to 38, I feel like that's good enough for me.
A couple strokes.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah, we could do that for you.
For sure, bro. But you know what, Alex? Tell the people a little bit how you got into golf and like your career in golf and how you made it like that.
All right, cool. So probably I'm a late bloomer to the game and a late bloomer to like the whole teaching aspect of it all too as well. So I was actually in New York. I was working for a company that just does like medical records. A good friend of mine, I actually lived with him upstate, and me and him, he would actually get me out of work. He was like,
hey, you want to get away for a couple of hours?
Exactly. He's like, hey, so I need Alex to go to another site, and then me and him would go escape to go play golf. So fell in love with the game up there, and I didn't have any family or anything like that, so I was flying down in the winter because it was cold up there. So I had to fly down to play golf. So I caught myself flying down like every other month. I'm like, all right, this is a sign here.
Something needs to change.
Yeah, something needs to change because work was good and all, but I'm so active, and I needed to do something where I just sports related. I just always loved sports as a kid. So growing up, just always active, never really stayed inside. So moved back down and then started playing golf, and then I was working from home and pretty much went from like a 30 handicap to about a 10 handicap in probably less than a year.
Damn.
And when I say practice, that was every day on the range, 2 or 3 hours. I had a baseball swing, played baseball probably 15 years, so
Yeah.
That left arm with that whole chicken wing thing is that little pulling, trying to do that. Nowadays, it works for some players on the release point, but it just, as a baseball player, it's hard.
Yeah, but I don't know if it really works for players, right? It's like something that Joel has always mentioned to me. You make it work for you because you find a way to like you stand a little different, maybe, right? It's a feel, and you kind of like survive that way.
You adjust. You adjust to whatever the hell you're doing to hit the ball. It's like me. Like my golf swing is the way it is very ugly because I just adjusted to what I was doing in order to hit the ball, and I can make contact, and it baffles Coach Sib. Yeah. But you know, sometimes I bring 100. So hey. You know, I'm happy with that.
Really good. But, so then I just fell in love with the game, man. I just, the practice, the discipline, and how hard it is. People don't understand how hard it is.
Super hard.
Golf is probably one of the hardest sports I've ever played, and it challenges you physically and mentally. You know? And when you get past that whole fun on Saturday for the boys and drinking and having fun, and you actually want to start learning about the game and the swing, it takes you for a ride, as in you have to really understand stress and how to handle that. And at the same time, if you're losing money to your friends and the person you don't really like, that's also another factor.
A motivating factor.
It's like, come on. Like, I can't even hit the ball straight, plus this guy's beating me. It's like, all right, something needs to happen.
Because then we all know what happens, right? You go play the weekend round, that costs you $60. You maybe gamble a little bit, you're down $160, right? You drink, that's another $40, $50, $60. So now you go home and you're like, your wife's like, well, did you win? You're like, what do you mean by win? Was I happy? Yes. Then I won.
And then you get in a fight with her. It's a whole deal.
And then, yeah, man, I know what it is.
But yeah, no, it's totally changed my life. I never thought I would be able to make money or have a future in golf, and especially teaching. So started working at a golf course. Just worked my way up to there. Worked at Riviera. Worked at the Biltmore as assistant pro, and then now I'm teaching at Topgolf as a director of instructions there. I had another instructor there, but with COVID, I had to let him go. But hoping to bring him back soon.
Dope.
But just and Topgolf's a place where it's like a bowling. It's like a bowling alley. Everyone comes there with their family.
Yeah.
I don't really have to go out and look for business, but if I see the people that are coming here on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and they come with their bag, they come alone. They're here for a reason. They want practice. They want to do something. So it's just really cool to go out there and just help people like
get better,
understand the swing. And YouTube, I love YouTube, but man, they have some bad instructions on that on YouTube. So everyone tries to think that their swing is a certain way, and golf is so weird. Golf is built around your swing and how you swing, and that's just how.
And you know, it's funny that this is a sport that again is such an individual sport because everything could be customized, right? You could have what's this dude's name that he recently revealed? I think it was Rom that he recently revealed that he has like 1 foot shorter than the other.
And there's so many things going around.
And he's like, I had to adjust my swing, I had to adjust my body, shoes, all types of stuff.
So that's why he has a shorter backswing. He was saying.
But look, this guy's a professional golf player, a really good golf player, a winner, a championship winner,
top five
in the world right now.
I'm going to pause you guys right there because if you guys watched the Open, he missed 4 putts in the front 9 that could have easily
gave him that win. Yeah, I was telling you.
At 5 and 6 or 4 or 5, he missed like 4 or 5, or I think it was like a 6 and then a 10-footer, and then he made the eagle, and I think he bogeyed, but then he ended up making like 3 or 4 bogeys. He shot 66, 4 under, but man, he missed so many putts that would have changed everything.
Even on the back 9 on Sunday. He was like in the 14th or 15th hole. I was like, well, maybe this is the one he makes to bring it a little bit closer.
He missed it.
And he missed it. And I was like, damn, that's very unlike him because he was on fire going into this tournament, bro.
Yeah, he was, especially after that last victory.
Yep.
Yeah,
the Open was crazy. I mean, obviously, so we had Colin Morikawa.
Let's talk about him. He's the winner. Shout out to Colin Morikawa.
Wait, can you say his name one more time?
Morikawa.
Oh,
I've been practicing. Jordan Spieth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't have the golf guy here and then like not have my enunciations correct. When
you said that, and he's like, you know what? Let me get the names. I got this.
I got this. But
Joel's got it.
Shout out to Colin Morikawa. He's
for sure.
He's only the second player to have these 2 major championships under his belt under the age of 25. The only other player to do so, Tiger Woods.
How about his first time playing at the course?
Yeah.
He said if he didn't play the Scottish Open the week before, he would have never seen the layout of that course. That is probably the most putt-putt golf course you've ever kind of imagined, as there's so many hills, there's so many undulations. You'll never get a flat lie at that place.
You're talking about Royal St. George.
Yeah, Royal St. George about the course, because having to come from a U.S. where it's like you don't get that much undulation. And
correct.
Then
it's not that hilly here. Unless you're somewhere really.
Yeah, but he's a Cali kid too and plays on Poana. So, I mean, putting is treacherous in California.
Yeah, but when you play on those
it's
greens.
different. Bro, you're talking about cliffs, 100-foot cliffs.
But again,
crazy elevation.
You're talking a golf course that has to make you change your game. As in, you can't play a regular shot. You have to play a lot of flighted shots. And people don't know what flighted shot is when you penetrate the ball in a lower way where the wind doesn't catch it.
Yeah.
Everything that they're shooting is landing short and running up because where these pin placements at, you have to land it and then let the green kind of take it from there versus you landing at the pin and then it kind of rolling away. So totally different strategy as in how to play that course. And see someone from the U.S. win it, man, that makes me really happy.
Second major win for him. He's his fourth top 10 in the major so far.
Killing it.
Professionally, I think he has 6 wins, is it? I think he has 5 or 6 wins already.
Yeah.
I'll double check on that. But, I mean, he's the comparisons to Tiger are just, they're showing more and more every major that comes and goes.
Yeah, he has, I think, a couple top 10 majors on that. And how he performed at the PGA Championship, too. That was also like an incredible run.
Well, something
last year's PGA Championship, the one that he won.
Yeah, the one he won.
The way that he won, driving 18
under stress, exactly. It's like he knew that
he
was exactly like. If I think anybody else actually who's been in through that is probably Xander Schauffele, someone who else is like almost there, but like the pressure sometimes gets to them. And again, to be that good, you have to handle stress. You have to be able to block everything out and have a game plan and stick to that game plan.
No matter what.
Exactly.
No matter what.
It's crazy how disciplined he is for being such a young guy.
And you know what's funny? We've seen it in a couple of examples. Like I was going to mention Tony Finau. We remember when he was close to winning it, we were watching it and we're like, damn, he's playing really well. Correct. And then boom, he'll slowly start to crumble, fade away. And now he's in third. And it's like, damn, dude, if you were just like locked in, you'd be solid.
He's a 75% shooter.
You know what I mean?
In my opinion, he's 75% in the sense that on any given tournament he plays, he's going to ball out 3 out of those 4 rounds. There's always that one round that comes back to bite him in the ass. Yep. It's not always the last day because we've seen Tony come out, have a bad Saturday, and then shoot lights out Sunday, and then kind of backdoor top 10. Yeah, and it's like, dude, if you would have just done a little bit better yesterday, you'd be winning this thing. But
how about Louis?
That's another guy I was going to mention, dude.
And he's gotten so close even in the last 6 months. In the last 6 months, he's gotten so close. And he just, again, for whatever reason, can't close that out.
That guy's cursed.
Yeah, between him and I forgot who else I had on my FanDuel, man. That guy is Louis who stays in his swing. If you want to have a golf swing, that's a golf swing you want to have. So simple, so effortless. Guy hits it, and the guy's like 5'10". He's
short, little chunky too.
Playing with these guys who hit it a mile, and it's like that just shows you how good you have to be as a ball striker. And again, it comes to practice.
But even so, the type of competitor he is, he's a phenomenal ball striker, phenomenal golfer. Can't take that away from him. He's one of the best in the world. But when it comes to what separates the millimeters that separate the elite from the elite, you saw him break down and crumble. What was it in the PGA Championship or the U.S. Open? I can't remember which one. It was one of the two. I think it might have been the U.S. Open where he had the lead and he ended up duffing one on a drive on 18 and putting it in the shit. Had to take a drop. And it was like, dude, you could have. I think that was one that round one.
After the other guy took a drop in front of him, remember? And we were like, coño, he choked. He gave Louis the win. Let's see what he does with it. And then immediately right after that, he choked.
He just choked. It was for him to win, and he did it.
A lot of the shots that he took yesterday he looked tired. He looked a little kind of like
exhausted, right?
The stress is getting to him. Again, that's a lot to deal with.
You think Colin's youth has something to do with it? The fact that he's probably in shape, works out and stuff like that, and he's just able to, since his body is physically he's more of an prepared, athlete. More mentally prepared to have all that line up. No, because he's very calm.
It was, again, if you watch the match, it was a close match until he made a double and then Colin made birdie. So.
That was the separation.
He dropped 3 strokes right there. So mentally, for Colin, it's like just protect it. Don't play aggressive. Yeah. Let's keep it in play.
Make your pars if you can.
And then he started making some deep birdies. He made two birdie putts from over 20 feet where it's like
nasty.
You was just expecting to lag it up and walk away with a par.
And be happy with the par.
Birdie.
Correct. And you play golf. When you make a couple birdies, it's like, You definitely feel more confident about your game.
Momentum is a real thing, bro.
So to have
I don't know about a couple birdies, but when I make one birdie,
it's like,
I do feel more confident.
Here we
about
go.
My game.
All right, so make a birdie. You know what I mean? It's like, all right. Pop the beer open. We're good.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good day. I made one, boys.
This match is over, but no, it's these guys.
Somebody else I wanted to talk to you about was the resurgence of the kid, man. Jordan Spieth.
Oof.
He didn't win it, but there's a lot of good coming from this tournament for him. I think.
He made Colin sweat. I guarantee you that, dog.
He did a swing change a couple months ago. I actually posted on my Instagram, and he even says that golf is changing. You can't just have one swing.
No.
You have to. Your body. You're getting older, or you know what I mean. You're starting to understand your swing differently. So he got away from his two-way miss, and what I mean by that is he used to miss both ways crazy, and now it's a lot more of a dispersion. And dispersion is when
you have a
spraying everywhere.
Yeah, consistent miss. Exactly. So
but in one area.
Yeah, and in golf, that pin is in one area. Yeah. So let's get that miss a little better, and he's been working on that, and you can see the results.
Well, I mean, he's taking the Tiger approach. Yeah. Tiger wins the 97 Masters and then comes out the following year and changes his whole swing.
Everything.
Yeah.
And goes on to obviously do great things. So it's like, dude, even if you're a pro, you're one of the best in the world.
Correct.
There's still always room for improvement.
You have to. It's like Coach Sib said. You have to continue to practice, and you have to continue to find ways to, change your swing, adjust for a course, adjust for weather, adjust for whatever, and be prepared to do so at any given moment. Because if you're a pro like these guys are that we're talking about, and excuse me, and even like Brooks Koepka, a lot of guys who didn't play well.
Brooks didn't need to play well because what's the player thing for the end of the year for social media to win the $10 million purse or whatever.
The FedEx.
Not the FedEx Cup. It's that new thing they implemented for like the player
like
interest.
the popular
it's
player
like PIP or something like that.
Yeah.
He got a ton of points for that this weekend with Bryson going off on his guy, on the driver, on Cobra.
And then he comes out here, I love my driver.
Yeah, he's like, dude, fairways were, just hitting fairways, I love my driver. And like just those points right there alone, he wins the weekend on that.
Yeah,
in that battle, dude. Those two are getting dramatic.
Small story. Actually, Bryson's new caddy is this guy actually used to teach with Biltmore.
No way.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah.
What?
It's crazy. I actually DM'd him. I was like, man,
congrats, bro.
So awesome to see
that.
That.
Dope. Did he leave you on red?
Huh?
Did he leave you on red because he's a PGA caddy now?
No. He actually said thanks.
Let me ask you something. Would you ever caddy if given the opportunity to? I know you did it recently at the Honda Classic for Lee Westwood and a couple other guys.
And Stuart Singh, two of the older guys on tour, veterans right there. And I definitely would caddy if I had the opportunity to get a player and just to
learn,
the game. Right? Yeah, it's being a caddy. Even that's a hard job because you have to understand the whole course.
Right. Multiple
courses.
Yeah, and
different grass.
Yeah. And the wind and the rain and the variables. There's so many variables in golf, and
for sure
you have to understand that it's so meticulous in so many ways that you have to be so like small on what you're changing and what your game plan is going into that course, because every course calls for a different shot. So as a caddy, you have to know what your player is shooting or how your player is hitting and understand where his misses are, because if you narrow down those misses, you'll be able to shoot a better score.
Yeah,
for sure.
Unless you're John Rahm, who goes against his caddy.
Yeah, and then you see what happens.
Who doesn't care? He just snap hooks one into the lake.
And sometimes the caddies have the answer for the players, and that's why they're there. And
I ask because obviously you're a really good player. You teach, you know what I mean? And what else is there in the world of golf for you to take your career to the next level? And it's like,
I
think you can make a good living if you're, obviously if you're a PGA caddy for a pro. So how does somebody like your buddy that worked at the Biltmore come across Bryson in that relationship? Like, how does that even happen?
He actually ended up moving to, I think, Houston, and then ended up working with Chris Como.
Okay, so nice. Como is Bryson's swing coach.
So actually, he was instructor at Jim McLean, and Jim McLean's a super elite golf school.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Man, and that's where the connections go. So he ended up just meeting up with Bryson, and then they ended up working with Chris Como, and then next thing you know,
that's it.
He's got the connection.
Shit, well,
fire.
Good luck to him.
Yeah,
I hope he has patience.
Yeah, I definitely.
Of a saint.
Well, I think it's not a swing coach, but I think they're working on his swing too. So he's a caddy, kind of a swing coach.
Okay.
I think that's a new thing coming along is some of these caddies want someone who's on the bag that knows what their swing is like versus someone who doesn't know and just knows a course.
Right.
So you get that 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. So
I think like we've seen it with what's the guy Dustin Johnson, that his brother is his caddy. Yeah. It has to have a beneficial relationship. There has to be a beneficial relationship, right? It can't be just the caddy saying, "Well, yeah, I'm your bitch. You tell me what to do and I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
And vice versa. It can't be the caddy telling the golfer like, "Hey, bro, this is what's going to make you a winner, right? Because the guy's obviously good enough to be there. They have to have that kind of like symbiotic relationship where they can both benefit from each other while they're doing this, because that's the only way that they're gonna
it's a mutual
get some
respect.
type of but just it's a result-based business. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you need results.
Yeah, the way that they, I think that the way they look at it is like it's not like the golfer and his assistant or his caddy.
Correct.
No, it's like they're on a team. And like I love watching like Bubba with Ted. Yeah. You know, whenever like he hits a bad one, he's like, "Oh, Ted, I let you down." You know, like he's the one hitting the shot. Yeah.
Right.
Ted's the one that told him, "Dude, the wind's doing this. You got 5 yards uphill. Whatever.
Last hole you
back
did
pin.
this.
Land it short. It'll roll up." Like he's breaking it all down. So now all he has to do, which is the hardest part, is execute the swing. And if he's off just by a millimeter, on one groove on that club, he feels bad, and he's apologizing to his caddy who did all that homework for him to hit that shot, and he let him down. So it's a really beautiful thing to see.
Man. Like I said, that type of relationship is one that's very rare in sports, right? Yeah. Because usually you don't have that personal one-on-one. And not even like in, individual sports, just thinking off the top of my head, not even in tennis, where you have a tennis coach and all this stuff, and he's there and you can kind of communicate through it. It's not the same thing. He's not behind you. The guy is on the tennis court by himself. At least when you're a caddy, you're like 5 feet away from the guy. You're like, hey,
even though you're not swinging the club with them, you're still in it with them.
You're in it.
You guys are competing together.
For sure.
So I caddied at the Honda Classic, like a Wednesday round I did front nine Lee Westwood, and then he had his son on the bag.
Nice.
But he actually has his wife on his bag usually.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then Stuart Singh actually just brought his son on the bag last year, and he actually won this past year.
Dope. And father and son, dog. That's dope.
On the bag, man. When I saw them walking down and they're having a moment, when they're, again, it's practice round, but it's like they're laughing, they're talking about their family, they're like out there enjoying it. It's like you can't beat that.
Hell no.
And it's like they're having fun, and that's what they do for their living. So it's just like to do it with your son. I think that's
the best. That's the best.
Cool right there.
Nobody gets to do that, bro.
Nah,
you get to go watch them in the stands, but not to actually
help
be involved.
Dude.
In the actual event.
Having him to
maybe LeBron is the only one that's gonna have a chance to play with his son one day and actually play alongside of him.
Well, that's cool that you bring
that anywhere else.
It's really cool you bring up LeBron, because before we wrapped up the golf thing, like just real quick, he's another guy that does a lot of coaching on the court. It's not like, hey, I'm in the stands, you do this. You can see his involvement. So when you see that type of involvement between father and son, regardless of the sport, it's always like extra special. Yeah. And I could only imagine what it feels like to be a professional golfer, walk in the course, and your son, who's definitely going to remember this 10 times better than you are, right? He's going to always have that memory of, man, me and my pops had this moment.
And we
won.
I always think about it. Do you think the coaches get mad when LeBron goes off? Because it's like, wait, it's LeBron. It's like, do I listen to what he's,
No shot. They got LeBron coming into the game. They know all the scouts are there and stuff to watch their kids. Their program's doing good. It's like, let LeBron do whatever the hell he wants to do.
I think he gets his own seats in the corner.
Yeah. No, that's because he's LeBron, right? Like, just like, hey, you guys can't sit here. LeBron might pop up. But I feel like he's kind of I want to say like that new age dad, right? Where he's super involved, but not to that weirdness level, he's going to coach. But when the coach stands up to say something, he ain't going to say shit.
Right.
Hey, this is coach time. Yeah, hey, coach said run.
I don't think he's calling plays for the team. I think he's just more so like, hey, it's my son.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell him what I think
he's Bronny, let's go. Stuff like that, which is normal, happens in all the sports, But I don't think he's like that type of guy where he gets involved.
We'll get back to LeBron. Let's wrap up the Open Championship. Colin Morikawa again. Winner.
No, hold up.
Oh, what do you want to go into?
My dog shot a what?
All right, bro. Where did he end up?
All right.
I knew you were going to. That's why I want to wrap it up, because I knew you were going to call me out. He's calling me out because of the fact that I said Rory was going to come out and shoot a 76 on Thursday, his opening round, because of last year's Open. Or
the dog went out there and shot a 70.
Whatever. Wasn't great. Where did he finish? Did he backdoor top 10?
Nah, hell no. Tied for 46.
He blew up.
Where?
But look,
where did he blow up?
Look. But hold on. 70, 69, 71.
70, 69, 71?
That's an average of 70.
Awful. For being from over there, from playing links golf your whole life, from being one of the best golfers in the world, having
but he's not on right now, dude.
He hasn't been on. He hasn't been on for the last 5 years.
He's not on right now.
And everybody's still, on him.
On him, right?
He won over there recently.
Rory did?
Yeah.
What, in Dubai or something? Or in Europe, in England?
No, it was like a Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. But
hey,
it don't matter, bro. You come to the PGA,
but
it's
hold
different.
on. But let's just clarify real quick. It's really hard to win on the PGA Tour.
Of course.
Right? Like, it's really hard, and it's really hard to stay consistent in the top 5, top 10. That shit is not easy. You know, so, again, when we see somebody in this game particularly peak, you know that the fall is going to be harder than whatever that peak was, because somebody else is going to claim that top spot. Somebody else is going to claim the second, third, fourth, fifth spot, and now you just got moved down to 6.
Right.
That's always going to happen, you know, and he's a product of that.
But he didn't do that great. He's still one of the best players in the world.
Still one of the best in the world.
He's still top 10, you know, in any event that comes out. He's still going to be one of the best.
He did better than Ricky Fowler.
Oh, of course, but Ricky's also been struggling. You know, those are two guys that have been struggling. But hopefully they can,
family-wise.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can do something, you know, to what Jordan Spieth is doing and turn their shit around, bro, and get their shit together and start performing again. Phil didn't make the cut. He shot an 80, I think, his first day.
That was very
rough.
disappointing.
That was rough.
Yeah, we tried to give him our luck by saying he wasn't going to win again.
We should have done that. We should have done that. But I think, like, for now, he's definitely playing, like, just for fun, dog. Like, he's going to show up. He's going to have a good time. He's not going to worry about too much. You
just
know
to
what
be
I mean?
out there.
If I win, I win. Fuck it. If I not, hey, I got all my sponsorship money. I'm ready to go home.
I think after that last victory, he's just still on that high.
Yeah, dude. He's cruising.
Come on.
He's 50 years old. He won a major, another major. He won. Come on. You can't beat that.
He's cruising.
So awesome.
Well, he's cruising.
That's it. The majors are done for the year. We got no more majors till Augusta next year, March, right?
Correct.
But we still got a lot of good golf. There's still a lot of good tournaments coming up, and they're still going to have good fields. So,
the
FedEx Cup is going to heat up, which I always have a quarrel with the FedEx Cup.
How about the Olympics?
That's
super cool.
I'm looking forward to. I really want to see these Korean players go out there and medal.
It's not just them, dude.
Bro, I mean, if they're going to get an exemption, bro, I mean.
But do you think that they're even the favorites, dog? Come on.
Probably, bro. Who else is fighting for their freedom?
I'm sure you.
Like, you know
that doesn't mean anything. Just saying, they're probably not sending their best golfers, dog. And if they were,
yeah, bro. Siwoo Kim is going to be out there, and who's the other one?
Who's America sending?
America?
Yeah, USA, baby.
I don't even know.
Like Justin Thomas.
Come on.
I would assume
I'm taking that guy over all of any.
I'm taking Patrick Reed. That's his boy. He likes Patrick Reed.
I'm taking all of those guys before I take anybody over there, dude.
Right. Well, they built that course just for this. You remember that?
So nobody's even really played that course?
No, it's a brand new course.
They built the course just for the Olympics?
That's typical.
Wow.
That's typical. That's like they always do that shit for like the Olympics and the World Cup.
Is it in Tokyo this year?
Yeah, it's yeah. They literally built this course just for.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's
so
dope.
It's gonna be pretty creepy.
That's gonna be.
It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be cool to see.
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. That's gonna make it like an interesting X factor, right? Because nobody's really gonna have a lot of practice on it, and you're just gonna go out there and have to literally play your best game each round.
It's more of a team format, so I would say team and then individual, but we got that Bryson and Brooks thing going on, so hopefully that doesn't get in the way.
No, that's definitely going to get in their way.
I hope they get paired up like the first day.
Well, they're not going to get it.
I don't think that they would do
Just
that on
make
purpose.
it happen. Just do it, coach.
Bryson wanted to. He's like, I think we would play well together, but...
Yeah, right. He'd
be
rattled. He'd be so rattled.
He'd be like this.
Not even that. It's just like the negative vibes that would be in that space would just be through the roof.
I mean, the tension would be so thick.
Through the roof.
We're watching that. We're going to be able to watch that, hopefully, man. I want it to happen organically. I don't want them to force it. I want them to be in contention at a big tournament.
Exactly. Well, they had the chance to be paired up with at the Open, and then
it just fell apart.
Denied it.
Yeah.
So
that might keep happening.
Yeah. Let's see.
Anyways, what else we got on the docket, Coach?
Let's see. Let's flip it over to some UFC, man, real quick. We saw UFC had a fight night.
Bro, they keep pumping them out every week. We
just
got done with 264.
264.
And now this wasn't a major card, but still a big night of fights.
Well, it's like we've talked about before, bro. I feel like Dana White just knows that in order to keep people buying those pay-per-view fights, he has to keep continuing to put good fights in between that are free, that people can watch and stuff like that.
Totally agree.
And then, boom. Hey, here's a big fight, pays $60, $70 for it. And then, got your ass, you know? But this fight was pretty good this weekend. What were you going to say?
Some of these bars have to pay for the fight, so it's like not all of them are going to pay for it. But if you throw a couple free fights on ESPN here and there,
yeah, dude,
you watching at the bar, it's like, oh man, who's that fighting? Start to follow them. That's how you get the following going. So,
well, look, that's how this guy got the following.
That's what I'm saying. So, put more free fights. You know what I mean? Put some more fighters out there that aren't kind of getting that spotlight, and You know what I mean?
For sure. And even like with what he's doing with the Contender series, right? Where he has like the Ultimate Fighter series. That shit's coming out where they're going to roll out.
That's going to be a good one.
And then at the end of that, Brian Ortega versus Volkanovski. Like, that fight's going to be amazing. Volkanovski. This guy, Dana, knows what the hell he's doing with his UFC business for sure. But the fight that he put on this past weekend had a lot of hype because Khabib was coaching the guy.
Which is crazy to see.
It is weird.
The best, arguably one of the best MMA fighters in the world, who's retired,
still can fight,
and he's there.
He's the champ
in the octagon. He's just there, but he's coaching somebody else.
In his division.
He's not even
in his division.
He's not even charging him. He's doing it all for free.
Nope.
And that's
love.
That's love for the game.
Crazy. That was the main event of the night. But there were some other good fights before that.
The best fight that we saw while we were chilling at your crib this weekend was the Miesha Tate fight. I thought that she really looked impressive.
Comeback
on her comeback against Marion Renaud.
And not a comeback fight. Not saying she was behind, but
no, it's been 5 years.
She's been on a hiatus for the last 4 or 5 years.
16.
Yeah, she went off to start a family. Right, had a couple kids, took some time off, but she came back. And dude, she looked really good in her return.
She looked impressive, and the women. I feel like the women's division could use another legitimate fighter, and a legitimate title contender. Because if she can keep sharpening it up, and granted, you're always gonna have ring rust when you're off for a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years. But when you're missing 5 years, you're gonna look weird as hell. And she did not look weird as hell, which was super impressive. She looked very calm, very focused, very natural. It looked like she just went out there and executed her game plan to the motherfucking T, man. Yeah. To the T. And she ended up winning by TKO, bro.
Yep. And
got her with some nasty, nasty elbows.
And I don't know if you saw afterwards, she was. They were asking her about Holly Holm. And that now they're saying that.
Would you guys be interested in seeing that?
I definitely. Well, I mean, come on. She's been out here for 4 years, so it's like.
But I don't want
some new. Right. Put a new face in front of Holly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Someone who she hasn't seen. So.
I think if they were to fight individually, like one more fight before they fought each other, that would make more sense, right? To build it up a little bit and then say, all right, you know what? We're going to throw you on a 265 card or 266 card or something like that. When they can, pump it up that way. Something else that caught my eye, Khabib, just to bring it back to Ismail, Khabib was really hyping this guy up. And when he was hyping him up, for me, I was like, man, maybe he's just doing it to get this guy's name out, to do him that favor because I'm Khabib and I'm famous and I can bring this guy along. But it looks like he really believes in him because the way he was coaching him in between rounds and shit, like that wasn't no regular head coach guy or something like that. He looked like he was like in there with him almost. And it kind of got me to thinking, I've never seen an ex-UFC fighter go in there and coach and be a cutman at that same level. The only one that I can think of is what's Rogan's boy?
Cormier?
No, not the guy who does the show with him. His homeboy, his real boy in life. And he's also a UFC fighter.
Brendan Schaub?
Yes. He's the only one that I've seen like have that passion for his fighter while being the head coach. Right. Nobody else. Mm-hmm.
No, because you see guys like Francis Ngannou in his fights. Who does he have in his ring, in his corner? That's a fighter.
He'll
have like Kamaru Usman or Israel Adesanya.
No, but that's not the same. That's like
they're just there as like a hype man kind of deal. You know what I mean? Khabib being so involved is like unheard of. For somebody of his caliber to be that involved that's unheard of.
But he's giving his secrets. Is what Khabib is doing. He's giving his secrets away to someone who he thinks can hold his gratitude of how popular and how good he got. Khabib was in UFC for what, 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
Made like $40 million, $50 million, and then bounced. Obviously, it's so sad to hear about his dad, but it's like he would still probably be owning the UFC right now.
Absolutely.
So, but it's good to see that he's giving his secrets away to somebody else that we can kind of live through him vicariously through that guy. And
I mean, so far so good. The guy's won his last 5 fights, and 3 of them have come by submissions in the second round. So he's obviously talented. Now, something you mentioned, like, us not ever having seen this before is kind of weird. So when we do see Khabib like giving away his secrets and saying, no, look, you got to hook him like this and look for this and that, obviously stuff that they would only know about, man, it really starts to trigger my mind to be like, damn, is this something that a lot of more professionals are going to try to trend into, where a guy like Cormier can say, you know what, I have my school, I pay this thing, I train here with the rest of my guys, you know what, I'm going to coach this guy because nobody else is going to be able to coach him like I can coach him, or give him that experience in-house.
And you can't pick 10 guys. It's like Khabib is strictly
focused on
one. And with the power of social media, you can still. Khabib is still fighting. Khabib is still sparring. He's still involved, heavily involved.
Yeah, he wrestles every day.
He still is very talented in what he does, and now to be a coach in that part of that
might even help him even more too. Coaching it. No, shout out to Jesse, who was our guest last week on last week's show. We did some UFC recap with him. He was telling us on Saturday night that this was basically Khabib's dad's plan. According to Jesse, was that his dad had planned. He's like, you're gonna make it to the top, and you're gonna leave it all, and then we're gonna bring him up, and then he's gonna become number one, and we're gonna do it that way. And Dagestan is just gonna fucking run this shit. You know what I mean? And those savages, man, they got the right formula right now.
Bro, they are savages. Have you guys ever seen that clip of them playing basketball?
Yeah.
It's wrestling with basketball.
Yeah,
Nobody dribbles.
Play against Khabib.
Nobody dribbles. I was like, what? That's not basketball.
Yeah, it's weird.
Those guys are a different level.
They wrestle bears. Mentality. They swim in like ice cold waters.
Bro.
Kill you like bare hands. They are killers.
Ruthless, bro.
So it makes sense to see this guy like coming into the UFC, not being a big name, because Khabib wasn't a big name coming into the UFC, and he just came in and
was known as the Russian.
Murked out everybody with the funny hat, right? Yeah. And he murked everybody, and it was like, oh shit, who is this guy? Now Khabib is backing this guy up, and it's like, damn, people are starting to pay attention. This guy's gonna get a title shot sooner or later.
He called out Chandler, right?
Yeah,
right after the fight.
Yeah. He's like, you have a couple months now to prepare for this fight, but I'm definitely willing to take you on. So. We'll see what happens, but that would be a pretty interesting fight.
I think that'd be a really good fight.
That'd be a real good fight, man.
Is it 155 he's fighting, right? Or 165?
No. I think it's 155.
155, right? 155s.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
And that's something that we were talking about with Jesse too on Saturday night.
Yeah, bro. Those weight
classes, bro. They gotta tweak those weight classes, bro.
They are a little off.
They're way
you
off.
got that 165, and then it like jumps right up to like the light heavyweight.
185, yeah.
So they gotta fix that gap, and especially more so we were talking about that in the women's division. Like they gotta change up those weight classes, bro.
That's why Miesha Tate being back is super important, because that's another fighter that says, hey, I'm at this is my weight class. I can fight in here, and I can fight anybody in here. We don't have a lot of that. Amanda Nunes is one of the few that can do both. Everybody else is either stuck in 135 or 125, and that's it. And neither one of them can really jump up and down. Amanda does it because she's a badass, She's a badass, and she's one of a kind, straight up, one of a kind. But I don't see too many women being able to do that in the near future. It seems like a very hard thing to do. And for me personally, I've spoken about it before in private and also on the podcast. I'm not a big fan of cutting weight. I feel like, you can cut weight, but cutting 15, 20, 30 pounds, that's too much, for me, in my opinion.
Well, that's why it's you see guys that you're like, wait, this guy's 165 pounds? And he walks around at 185, 190.
Yeah, bro.
And he's just fighting out of that class because of the fact that he cuts down. We see that all the time. And I think it's ONE FC. I don't know if it's the ONE FC championship or it's a different league.
Right.
Where basically they fight at their walk-around weight. Like they test, I think, their hydration levels and stuff to make sure they're not letting go of all their water weight and all that stuff, and they have to fight at their weight class. I kind of like that. That's interesting. That. But I mean, that's part of the game, bro. It's part of fighting. It's always been that way. For wrestling, for fighting, it's the weight class. You got to make the cut. That's part of the process.
You mentioned it. It's wrestling. I can remember guys in high school. I'm sure you guys remember too. Guys on the wrestling team sweating, running around like crazy, wearing jackets, trash bags, hoodies, and you're like, it's 2:00 in South Florida.
I just got out.
You're gonna die in that, dog. But these guys would run around to lose 10 pounds, 7 pounds, 8 pounds. Right before a meet. And then, go into that meet, be, exhausted and just go. That's crazy. But I guess they're just used to it, and it's part of the game. But I feel like that's something that needs to change, and it'll make more fights, more exciting fights, because then you get people fighting in the real weight class, or at least close enough to the real weight class where you can have big fights and make major fights between a light heavyweight, a middleweight, and something like that. Catch weights and stuff like that, because boxing does it.
Yeah.
And that's the proof in the pudding. And boxing makes money doing it. Unlike the UFC. Those guys ain't getting paid.
No, they're not.
That shit kills me. That shit kills me, dog. That shit kills me. I saw something crazy. The DP only made like $1 million, 1.5, 1.2, some shit like that from his fight with Conor.
For that fight?
Yeah, and Conor walked away with like 10 mil.
Wow.
But that's what happens when you're Conor, right?
Exactly. Connor's at
He's
the
the draw.
Mayweather, yeah.
He's the Mayweather. He's the Mayweather.
And that's why they'll give him a 4th fight, is because of that right there.
Hell yeah.
How many people bought that fight? So many people bought that fight.
A lot of people bought that fight. And look, even when we did the podcast on Grails. Shout out to Grails, you know what I'm saying? Bro, that shit was packed.
Yeah.
Even from before we had got there, like the main, like 9 o'clock came, the main card was about to start. They were finishing the prelims, and everybody was in there watching the prelims. We were watching Carlos Condit. You know, he ended up losing.
Yep.
But that's how that draw is when McGregor fights. You know, had it been DP versus whoever, I'm sure the place would have not been as packed.
No,
I'm sure it wouldn't have been.
It's
as
the
packed.
Conor draw, bro.
It's the Conor draw.
I don't even think they would be able to do pay-per-view if it wasn't for Conor.
Nah, I think they'll still be able to do pay-per-view. So? Yeah, because when you do championship fights, that's something worth watching.
That card was really, really good.
Yeah, it was a real good card, bro. It was a real good card. A lot of good fights. I mean, Sean O'Malley and the Moutinho kid, bro. Those guys went to war.
Yep.
War.
The Greg Hardy fight and Ty.
Yep.
And
his name
Ty Vasa, something like that.
Vasa,
Ty
Vasa, something like that.
Ty Vasa. But yeah, dog.
With the shoey.
Yeah, weird thing with the shoey, bro. Weird. That shit was just disgusting, dog. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That shit was just disgusting, bro. You just got out of a fight. I know you're thirsty. You have water right there. B, you're going to walk up to a random fan that you don't know and be like, yeah, bro, give me your shoe. What if the guy's not even wearing socks, dog?
Nah,
Come on, the guy gets blood on the guy's face.
I feel, but you're not drinking the
He's
blood.
rolling in someone else's blood.
You're not drinking it.
Bro, it's part. He's from New Zealand, bro. That's part of their culture.
That's part of it.
The nasty shit I found out is that the way that they do it, like let's say all 3 of us are gonna do shoeys, we each take turns spitting into each other's shoey, and then we drink it. That's what I found out. That's disgusting. I would never do
with people like that.
I might do a shoey, you know. I might be like, all right, let me get
my own shoe.
Yeah, I might just grab my own shoe, you know, maybe one I haven't worn as much.
A brand new shoe, like fuck it.
Yeah,
go to Ross and go buy a brand new shoe.
Right.
$5.
These $20 Converses, tear it up.
Actually, how many people would try those Converse on in Ross? That could probably be way worse.
Yeah, never mind.
That could definitely be worse, dog. Damn.
You gotta hit up sneaker steal.
Yeah, for sure. Damn, Coach Siv killed it, dog. Oh, yo, you know what? Before we wrap up the show, I know you're a big time NFL fan. Obviously, Joel's a football fan. We've been hearing a lot of talk about Xavier Howard. I want to get your opinion.
Well,
what do you think?
You got a full disclaimer here. He's not a Dolphins fan.
That's okay. That's okay. Do you
know who Xavier Howard is and what he
knows
what he means to the Dolphins?
He's the defense, I would say.
Right.
Yeah. He's the heart of the defense. Yeah,
he had 9 interceptions last year.
I would say the Dolphins and what their picks that they just kind of had last year or in the last draft.
Right.
They don't really need him, I would say.
I don't think so either.
I don't think they need him.
Wow.
I don't think they need him because their defense.
Let me clarify that.
You guys top 5 defense in the league last year.
How many games did he miss? Here's my thing.
Xavier?
Yes.
The defense is
he missed at least he missed more than 3 games. He missed at least 4 to 6 games.
No shot. He had 9 interceptions last season.
In like 12 games, dog.
You don't do that missing that many games, Papa.
He's nasty. He had multiple.
I think he missed 2 or 3 games.
And he had multiple interception games. But regardless, my point is this, right? I think if you get a guy who starts to make a big stink about the team and I want to get paid,
that's cancer right there.
That's a cancer off rip, especially when the guy just got paid. So that now I'm hearing all this shit about Xavier Howard this, and I'm like, dog, if he wants to go, we can let you go, and we won't be as good, but we'll be all right. As long as our defensive line is sick, that's definitely going to help any type of defensive back that we got.
Yeah, hopefully.
And we have invested in it.
We made upgrades.
We've invested on the D-line, and we invested in the defensive backs too. So that's why I'm like, man, I don't know how people feel about Xavier Howard outside of the Dolphins. Obviously, I know Dolphins Nation loves this guy, but I don't know, man. That's a bad play nationally. It looks bad.
Especially after you got paid.
Especially after you got paid, bro.
I don't know, man. Pay the man, you know?
Yeah.
The guy's a stud. He was our best. He was in the running, in our opinion, for the Defensive Player of the Year last year. He got snubbed, you know, because the other guys, you know, they're just more popular amongst the league and on better teams or whatever. But, dude, last year, every game, we were like, shout out Xavier Howard, making another play, putting us back in the game, another turnover when we needed it. And it's like, I like guys like that, man. I want to support guys like that and keep those guys around and pay them. Pay the fucking guy, man.
But let me ask you this. Would you rather say that or would you rather say, damn, Tua had another raw-ass game? I'd rather say Tua had another raw-ass game.
I want both. I want to say Tua had a raw game because Xavier Howard made the crucial interception that led to the game-winning drive that Tua had.
No. That's not what I want. I want Tua throwing 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's what I want.
What's more
important than a Xavier Howard pick?
Let me ask you this. If we keep Xavier Howard, right, and we pay him, we keep him happy, what's more likely, that he'll hit 9 interceptions again in the season or that Tua will throw for 4,000 yards and have more touchdowns than interceptions?
I think Tua can throw for 4,000 yards and have more touchdowns.
You think that's a higher possibility of happening? I don't know.
Number one, teams are not going to throw Howard's way off rip, right? That's number one. Number two, that's if he even comes to play. Because he can be a punk and say, I'm going to sit out. I'm not going to come, and we'll fine you. Yeah, no problem. Give me my money. You still got to pay me a check. Fine me, but give me the rest of it. And he can sit out and miss 4 games and then play only, 13 games? 12 games? And then hope to replicate something like that? That's what I'm saying, dog. Like, if he wants his money, go get it. Go, show up, be the best. Right? Let your fucking actions do the talking because that's what we hyped up all year. You didn't say a word to the media about being underpaid. You didn't say a word on Twitter. Nothing ever came out about that. But now this new season comes around, you want to bitch about money? That's not cool. Go out there and play. Earn your money. You want to earn it? Earn your money because we already paid you for past performance. We already paid you. You got to show up.
You make a good GM, my friend.
I don't think so.
I'm
very emotional. I would have fired that guy. I was like, what? You don't want to show up? You're out of here.
I would say you need to get his agent.
Right? I need to hit up. You know what? Xavier, I'm going to holla at you, dog.
No, he needs to work for the team, not to be his agent. He's not looking. I'm looking out for the Xavier, sign me, dog. I'm trying to get you paid, homie.
Nah, but for real, though, like, you can't just always give in to demands, right? Because then once you give in to a demand, you're going to start giving up to a bunch of demands.
I feel like organizations, dude, they do it because of the ego that the owners and the GM and the management have. Look at a perfect situation like Green Bay Packers. Stud quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Who knows what's going to happen in there? But we still don't know. And it's because of that. He's given everything to that organization, to that city, to that state, to everything. And this is how they're repaying him. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
That's green.
But at the end of the day, Rodgers knows that he's going to either have to play for the Packers or play for somebody else. And more than likely, he's going to play for the Packers.
I don't know, man.
Hey.
I don't know.
Hey. Again, you can fine him, you can do all this shit. But at some point, he knows the clock is ticking and he needs to be on the field to make money. That's the whole thing for NFL players. I need to make money. You're not going to make money if you're sitting out. You're not going to get money if you're in a contract dispute and you're missing training camp and these guys are fining you 60 grand, 50 grand, even 10 grand. Shit, that's a chunk, dog. You know what I mean? Like, that's a nice little chunk. That's probably a mortgage payment that these guys are putting down and shit.
Wait, Aaron Rodgers, you guys watch his golf tournament?
I did.
At Phil and
I
he's
did.
Definitely
and Tom was a pretty good golfer, dog.
Tom was
a pretty good golfer.
But Aaron Rodgers, it's just like he wasn't. He actually played pretty well.
I didn't watch the match.
What?
Yeah.
Tripping. It was entertaining. It was a lot more funnier than anything. You know, it was a lot more funnier than anything.
But Aaron Rodgers got a swing.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah?
Of course.
He's got a nice swing.
Good.
I'm sure he's had, a coach like yourself since he hit the NFL and was like, you know what, I'm just going to hire this guy. Hey, come over here.
A lot of
first thing you can afford is golf lessons with Alex.
Hey, I'm getting close.
Yo, but NFL, we got plenty of time to talk about that.
Plenty of time.
Before we get out of here and wrap this up, we got to talk about the finals.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Milwaukee this past Saturday won against the Bucks.
Game 5
I actually
in
have
Phoenix.
That box score 123-119 in Phoenix. Phoenix gave up a lead, a big lead they had in the second quarter, and Milwaukee just came back and ran away with it after that, man.
Let's talk about the last maybe 5 minutes of that game. It was very strange because we saw Phoenix trying to hang on to the lead, and they just, for some reason, they didn't look as aggressive as the Bucks did. It felt like every time the Bucks had the ball or they didn't have the ball, they were dying to get it. It's like they were rabid for that ball, and they were going nuts. And honestly, I felt like their pressure made Phoenix crumble. Like, Phoenix crumbled, right? Because you had the lead, you were winning, and then you give up the lead, and now you're losing. And even in your last 2-3 possessions, they were pretty whack because Devin Booker had that last take. I don't know what the hell he was thinking.
He drove up, and then he lost control of it.
I don't know what he
turned
was
it over.
thinking.
They should have called a timeout. Set a play, call a timeout. But I think Devin Booker got it off the rebound, and then he ended up coming down the court. But I think coaching right there, it's like...
Well, they only had one timeout left. So if you take that timeout there, then you, like, really have to hope that these guys execute it.
But you have Devin Booker and... What's his...
DeAndre
Ayton.
They were both on the bench, I think, in the second or third quarter at the same time. Giannis was on the court by himself. It's like you can't have Giannis on the court and then you're
nobody on there with him.
Second best guy out there. You know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
I think some of these issues is a coaching perspective. And then that last possession.
I honestly blame Devin Booker more than I do the coach. And yeah, you're right.
40 points.
You dropped 40, bro.
I feel you.
Can't blame 40 points,
listen.
so.
That's
Chris
all
Paul,
nice.
I would blame if anything. Give him a couple
but
more
he had
points.
21 and 11. He still had a double-double too.
But
That's the
turnovers,
biggest thing that kills him.
The turnovers for Chris Paul, and again, Devin Booker's inexperience is what fucking killed him. So yeah, it's cool to drop 40, but 40 in the fucking finals doesn't mean shit unless you win, because nobody is gonna remember it. Yeah. You know, so for me, it's like, all right, bro, you're balling. You have everything. You've done everything that you could do to this moment. Why are you choosing to drive into the basket when your shot has been on? You just hit a big three to get them close, and like, why are you not taking more shots and demanding the ball and getting it away from Chris Paul and anybody else? He didn't do that. So when you don't do that, you're to blame. Now, again, what Coach Sib said was right. Monty Williams should have probably called the timeout and say, hey, you know what? Let's set up a play. Let's set up a backup, right? Let's set up a backup, and then we'll go from there. But then the problem with that is if you can't even inbound the ball and you lose possession, then you're really fucked, you know, because I'm just saying, like, Phoenix would have had to done a lot of right things in order to kind of tie that game up. And I just don't think they were executing good enough throughout the game to even get it that close. That's why I feel like the Bucks' constant pressure on those guys was killing them.
Oh, it's Giannis is playing like
out of his
a
mind.
Killer right now, man.
Giannis.
And Middleton.
Middleton is...
So, all right, so I'm glad you said that.
Middleton is... Wow.
I'm glad you said that. Because Middleton has carried this team, I think, through this playoff run. Right, he's been the most consistent. He's an all-star. He's proven it. When he first got that all-star bid, it was like, Chris Middleton, really? But ever since then, bro, like, people were like, oh shit, Chris Middleton's that dude. Mm-hmm. He's got good D. Dude's wet. He can take it to the rim. He knows how to run. Like, he can run the point when he needs to.
And more importantly, he hits big shots, which I'm sure we can all agree he's probably is the most clutch shooter. Is without a doubt the most clutch shooter on that floor.
But Giannis is coming up this series. He's playing lights out. He's playing like a madman this series.
He wants to win.
And he's the poster boy. If they go on to win, the Bucks, who gets the MVP?
The Bucks win it. I'm going to say Giannis has to get it.
Has to, right?
Yeah.
Just because he's like the reigning MVP and like the poster boy, right?
Exactly. He has to get it. But
shouldn't Chris Middleton at least? I mean, does it depend on the next game, on the closeout game?
I think yes.
Let's hope for a game 7. But
let's hope for a game 7 first and foremost. But
what of like final series? Like, I know last year the Heat, we love the Heat, great, but it's like that was in the bubble, that was different. LeBron, and the only thing I remember about last year was probably be Jimmy Butler's game 5 with LeBron.
No, and we were hurt.
It was just more of like, this is a great matchup. These two teams together are so evenly matched up.
Correct.
Now that's a coaching. That's what I'm saying. It comes down with coaching. All these little like nitty things. That's what it comes down to.
For sure.
I think this is probably one of the greatest finals I've ever seen. Like, as in it not
like
being
even.
my team.
Right.
You know
Like
what I mean?
right. Like, you're not having a rooting interest in it.
Even my girl was like, actually, this is actually a good game. Actually, this is actually entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
For a woman, you know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, whoa.
No. He means like
for them
somebody who doesn't watch the sport.
To be like, actually, hey, let me sit down with you. I'm just like,
a beyond casual fan.
That's just because she thinks Devin Booker's cute, dog.
Yeah, probably.
That's all it is.
No, bro, every time my girl sees it, she's like, you think the janitor is there? And I'm like,
yeah, that's what they're looking at the game for. They want to see if Kendall's sitting courtside.
I'm sure she's there somewhere, you know? Like, he's not by himself. But like you said, the finals has definitely been entertaining because of the fact that it's two teams that are very evenly matched, right? They both have superstars. They both have shooters. They both have a lot of history behind them and a lot of people, like, again, attention because a lot of history behind them and a lot of tension on them because it's like, damn, wow, look, the Bucks haven't made it since the 70s. Phoenix could possibly win their first one. They're
Chris
both
Paul, 16 years.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of storylines.
That's who so I've been going for the Suns.
Same.
You know, I like Book. I mean, we've been talking about it. You know, we like Book and we like Chris Paul, and they came out 2-0. You know, took the first two games at home, and it looked like the series was wrapped. It looked like Milwaukee may, claw one out, and then it'll be 4-1. But they've turned around, and they've made the two biggest games were at home, obviously, to get that momentum going. They even out the series, and now they steal one away from the Suns, and now they have home court advantage, trying to close out tonight by the time you're hearing this, for their first finals since 71. I mean, these guys are on a mission right now to win.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like it, and we've been going for the Suns, but
no, we both thought they were going to win. I definitely thought that they were going to win. And kind of just to like tie it back to the MVP thing. Yeah, Giannis is the bigger name, but I'm pretty fucking sure that Milwaukee doesn't even get close to this if it's not for Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of times where Giannis has faded away, not stepped up, whatever, for whatever reason. And the only consistent balling at every single level of the playoffs has been Middleton. Yep. And he hits all the big shots for them. He keeps them in games. He scores the three. He is the threat offensively.
Even last year they had like the best record in the league, in the bubble, whatever. And we end up sweeping them basically.
He was the one that killed us.
Middleton was the one that was killing us that whole round. It wasn't Giannis.
And even in this year, he killed us in this round too. Like it wasn't Giannis, it was Chris Middleton. Yep. We couldn't stop that guy. So that to me, he deserves MVP. Yeah. So if he has something where he has like 35 points in the closeout game or hits a big shot to win it or whatever, then yeah, I feel like he needs to win it, just to keep it right, and not just give the MVP to the star. You got to give it to the person who was the MVP of the finals or the playoffs, and that's, to me, Chris Middleton, man.
I feel like with all Giannis is doing, though, if he doesn't get it, he's going to be like, what's going on here?
But you know what? He's got a championship. And he can go like this. And
he has a league MVP.
And he has a league MVP.
But you know what it is
to add that
NBA Finals MVP.
What happened with LeBron? LeBron got the same thing. It's like
there was years that LeBron won it that I don't feel like he should have won it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's the name.
It's LeBron James. What are you going to do? Give it to somebody else? Like, no shot.
I know.
They weren't going to give it to Wade or Bosh like when he was with us, and they weren't going to give it to Kyrie, even though Kyrie probably deserved it in Cleveland.
But you could have gave it to a guy like Ray Allen, because even in that Spurs series, he hit that big shot, right? Whatever. But no, not whatever.
But
he hit that big shot.
Is he our most valuable player, though, of that series?
He did win us the game, but
he had the most valuable play.
Exactly.
But LeBron was our most valuable player.
That's across for sure. All, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
It's just rough, right? Like, but in this scenario is a little bit different because Giannis isn't as dominant, so quote unquote, as a LeBron. We've seen it. He's had bad games. He's had games where he's missed 12 free throws and shit like that. And, that's not easy to justify when it comes to, like, MVP talk. Middleton, again, has been just super consistent every single round of the playoffs, just doing his game to help the Bucks win. And I feel like he's going to have a big game at some point tonight.
All right, Game 6 tonight, 9 o'clock. Who do you guys got?
We'll let Coach Sib go first.
I'm going to say let's go with score-wise or just
wins? No, just who you got wins.
Just the wins.
The pick 'em.
Suns.
You think the Suns even it out tonight?
I think the Suns even it out tonight.
Bro, I want the Suns. I've been going for the Suns this whole time. I think Milwaukee closes out tonight, though, man.
Ooh.
Just the way that it's been going. I think it's in the interest of the NBA to stretch it out to 7 games for the revenue. And, the refs, hey, there might be quick early foul on Giannis or Middleton.
Right.
Middleton
he gets 3 fouls
ever. He's going to get 2 or 3 in the first few minutes.
Quarter.
and then now we're going to have the Suns come back. But if all else the same, I think the Bucks are going to close out.
Bro, for me, and I've been dealing with this like all day because I knew we were going to talk about it, right? Obviously. So I was kind of like breaking it down. And what I can see happening is Devin Booker realizing that this moment is slipping away from him. And he may not get back there, right? Because he doesn't have a guarantee that Ayton is going to get any better. He doesn't have a guarantee that Chris Paul is going to come back. Or even a guy like Crowder, Crowder's locked in, but he can always get traded. Cameron Payne, Cam Reddish, they have a bunch of young players. He doesn't know how the franchise is going to move, right? So for him, he's going to feel like, yo, this is my shot. This is my shot. I need to make sure we get it to a Game 7. I'm going to go off. And I just feel like he's going to go super ultra aggressive. This guy's going to put up 30-something shots, 40-something points, and just go ham and try to bring it back to Phoenix.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, bro. Because it's like I told you, man. I feel like he has the right mentality. He just doesn't have the experience. You know, he just doesn't have the experience. But he has the right hunger, I feel like. So if there ever is a Devin Booker game, I feel like it's gonna be this one. So I'm picking the Suns in Game 6.
And we'll close out our NBA segment
with my favorite sound.
We may or may not have a new NBA champion next week.
Yep.
Right? Oh, wait. When's the Game 7 possibly?
Game 7 would be Thursday.
So yeah, we'll definitely
have
next episode we'll know who's gonna win. So
yeah, man. But hopefully it does go 7, bro. Hopefully it does go 7. And then we got training camp. We got some Canes coming up. Marlins are gonna still be in action. More golf. I need to get into the links this weekend.
We got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, bro. UFC is gonna actually have some big fights, and then in August we actually have the Tyson Fury fight. No, that got pushed back, right?
Fury Wilder.
Yeah. That one got pushed
Fury
back.
Wilder?
Yeah, Fury Wilder. They got
another one?
Yeah, the third one. Well, that was the whole thing with the litigation and the court case. A bunch of drama we could save for another show.
All right.
But I got to give a shout out to Coach Alex Sib.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me.
My man. First guest in studio.
Through, doggy.
Yeah, you guys don't know what this means to me and Joel. Like, this shit is important. Obviously, it's important to have people come into studio to have the best quality that we can give you visually and via audio. So anytime that we can continue to do this, we're definitely going to do it and have more people cool like Alex that are doing good things in the community, actually helping to, grow the game that he loves, get kids active outside, and ultimately just do good things for the community. And this is what it's all about. When you're in Miami, you want to give back. So shout out to Coach Sib. Hey, guys, look him up. Top Golf, the Row. My dog's going to be out there.
Holla at him. He's the best in town.
But you're going to have to wait after me, okay? There's a line. It starts right here, and then you can go from there, all right?
He's fully booked.
For sure. Fully booked. SoSo taking over. Yeah, Joel, dog, this is it. Episode 45, dog. Let's wrap this shit up, dog.
Let's do it.
Shout out to you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are subscribed to us on YouTube. We're going to be putting all of our episodes from now on YouTube. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers. So little by little, we're going to build this up. Make sure you guys share this shit with a friend. Let them know to tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell another friend.
To tell one more friend.
To tell one more friend that we're on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's spelled Y-O. No, I'm not going to spell it for you. But you know what YouTube is. Your kids know. All right? Go to the YouTube page. Subscribe. Sports with SoSo. You're going to find us there. You're going to see my ugly mug, Joel's face with the hat. And this week, we're going to have Alex there too. So make sure you guys check us out. And as usual, y'all.
Peace.
That was weird. Let it ride.